Welcome back to AP World History. This is a continuation of Chapter 4. We've looked at the Persians and the Greeks. Now we're going to turn our attention to Rome, and we'll see what kind of influence they had on Western culture. Here's a little geography of Rome. Rome originally starts in the peninsula of what is now Italy and will spread throughout the Mediterranean, engulfing also Goth, which is now France, Great Britain, part of Germany, all of the North African area, including Egypt and parts of the Middle East, one of the largest empires of the world. As you can see here, in 750 BCE, Rome was very small. The Etruscans and the Latium bordered this small kingdom. Eventually, it will grow and conquer its neighbors. You can see the Carthaginians in the purple and the Greeks in the yellow, and they will extend their influence throughout the Mediterranean. The Etruscans certainly had an influence on the writing, religion, and the creation of the arch. In terms of the myth of how Rome started, twin brothers Romulus and Remus, raised by a she-wolf, and eventually they will grow, and Rome will start from that embryo. The Republic starts about 509 BCE and extends to 27 BCE. Essentially, the aristocrats, the upper crust, drives out the monarchy, and they extend their influence throughout the peninsula. They will kick the Greeks out, and they will always have a strong military orientation to protect their empire and extend their influence. The Republican government consisted of two consuls or co-rulers selected by the Senate. The Senate is going to be made up of aristocrats, the patricians, and the common folks are going to become known as the plebeians. This shows the forum. The 12 tablets provide a rights for the plebeians, and something novel in terms of providing rights for common people. Rome was quite interested in road building. They discovered at an early time that the roads provided a means of moving goods and soldiers around to protect the empire and distribute goods. The Appian Way was the road that ran by Rome, and parts of it still exist today. Romans realized that fresh water was an essential thing to have a city grow, and they built extensive aqueducts that still stand today. And they also had bathhouses, and they had sewer systems. They came up with the invention of concrete, and you can see here the arch, which you could support more weight. This is a picture of the Colosseum, where they would conduct games, gladiators, reenacting battles, feeding Christians to the lions, wild beasts. The Romans will fight 3 wars with Carthage, known as the Punic Wars. And this is a struggle for power in the Mediterranean. Eventually, the Carthaginians will lose ultimately to the Romans, and the Romans will take over their territory. The First Punic War essentially is over Sicily, and the Carthaginians are defeated. The Second Punic War was led by General Hannibal. He's going to march around through Spain and what is now France and across the Alps. He is successful, but never completely defeats Rome and never takes the city of Rome, and the war continues. The Third Punic War Carthaginians are going to be completely destroyed, and then Rome will seize power, complete power in that part of the world. You see Hannibal's route, and you can see the extent of the Carthage Empire in blue. So this is going to significantly increase the size of Rome. Tiberius and Gaius will be reformers who legislate grain for the poor and also plots of land for them to cultivate. Gaius Marcus is also going to be a military reformer. He's going to recruit soldiers from the poor and the homeless to build a professional army, the legions. Civil war is going to beset the Roman Empire. The Roman Republic is quickly going to fade away and be replaced by dictators. There's a picture of Pompey and Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar was quite successful as a military general, conquered Gaul, is going to seize power in Rome. Essentially, when he crossed the Rubicon, which is a river outside Rome, which were forbidden to do as a general, he brought his army through. It was a sign of insurrection or treason, but he had the strength and power to pull it off. The Republic is going to be replaced by the Triumvirate, which was 3 men ruled Rome simultaneously, and this was Julius Caesar, Marcus Crassus, and Gaius Pompey. These 3 men will later be replaced after Julius Caesar is killed by Mark Antony and other senators. The second triumvirate will be Octavian Augustus, Mark Antony, and Marcus Lepidus. The Roman Empire, when the dictators come to power, is going to extend probably another 500 years. Octavian Augustus, the first true emperor of Rome. And this shows the lineage, the different Roman dictators who came to power. You're not going to have to know this, but this just kind of gives you kind of a linear or a tree of how it played out. The greatest extent of the Roman Empire was 14 CE. The problem that Rome will face is that they will really build an empire too big to manage. There will be different what they call barbarians knocking at the gates, mostly from the Germanic tribes, and eventually the western part of the empire will collapse. You can still see the imperial roads, quite extensive throughout their empire. Essentially, the empire will be pressed on all fronts, and the western part will eventually collapse. Diocletian was the one who split the empire into 2 for administrative reasons. The western part will collapse and taken over by barbarians. The eastern part of the empire will press on for another 600 years. Constantine was a Byzantine emperor who adopted the Christian faith and promoted that in the Roman Empire. He was hoping that it might join the people together. The rise of Christianity spreads throughout the kingdom, starts in Palestine, spreads to Asia Minor, which is now Turkey, Greece, and it will spread throughout the Middle East, partially, and North Africa, and later into Rome. And you can see that it spread very quickly. It became known later as the Catholic Church. The Apostle Paul to the Gentiles Gentiles being those who were non-Jews. Picture of Constantinople, named after Constantine. Barbarian invasions essentially will spell the end to the western part of the empire. Attila the Hun, one of the different invading groups in Rome, paid him tribute, and he still attacked him. This shows the Byzantium, or the Constantinople, the eastern part of the empire that survived. They will adopt Greek as their language later on, and abandon the Roman language. This is the empire during Justinian. He was an emperor in the Byzantine Empire. He sought to restore the glory of the Roman Empire, partially successful, but never really extends it to its previous greatness. He will establish a code of law. Women are treated much better in the empire, and he will also promote the Christian faith. The legacy in terms of the Rome, we have a republic form of government because of them, the Roman law, the Latin language, the Catholic Church. Certainly city planning was a big part of that. They will also provide the arch, an architectural design that is still used today. As far as their engineering was concerned, they came up with aqueducts, sewer systems, dams, the concrete or cement, making things stronger, and the arch. So we owe them a great debt in terms of advancing technology. I think you can say safely that they were a tremendous influence on Western culture, both the Romans and the Greeks. And we'll stop there, and see you next time.